After spending an entire week in Tokyo, and visiting 4 times actually, I've realized how overwhelming it can be to see the best of the city in a few days. That's why I've created what is in my mind the most perfect, or darn near perfect possible, 3-day Tokyo itinerary to see what is truly the best city in the world, Tokyo, Japan. Day 1, we are not messing around, we are getting right into the meat of potatoes, heading to Harajuku, a famous neighborhood on the west side of Tokyo. We are starting off the morning heading to Meiji Shrine, or Meiji Jingu. Meiji Jingu is the most famous Shinto shrine in all of Tokyo, and arguably one of the most famous in all of Japan. It's dedicated to the Emperor Meiji, and it's a beautiful city escape as you leave the station, and it's right next to Harajuku Station. You walk under the torii gate into the woods. You see some beautiful Japanese traditional culture on display, beautifully mixed with the nature, which is one of the things I love the most about shrines and temples in Japan. In the morning, undoubtedly, you will still have some crowds around you, but you'll be able to experience some quiet pockets and really be able to take everything in around you. If you want to experience more nature, you can continue and explore Yoyogi Park right nearby, but I recommend we head more into the city side of Harajuku, checking out Takeshita Street or Takeshita Dori. This is a very famous street, famous for the kawaii, kind of like youth, cutesy pop culture in Japan, so a very strong difference from Meiji Shrine that we just checked out earlier. This street will undoubtedly be very busy unless you visit like late at night, and it's fun to walk around and kind of be taken in by the crowds if you can handle that sort of thing. And there's fun cutesy little shops and some merchandise and memorabilia and little sweet treats that you can check out and make for a really cool photo, admittedly. There you go, Vanessa. I can barely even get it in the shot, it's so big. Look how much bigger than my head this is. It's crazy. After you had your fill of Takeshita Street, I recommend checking out some of the surrounding back streets because this is the true magic and beauty of Harajuku. In my opinion, it's a very different vibe, more kind of like sleepy, quiet, rolling hills, some fun quirky shops, nice cafes, a really cool place just to wander around and get lost. You can also continue to the area of Omotesando, which is more high-end luxury shopping. There's also Tokyo Plaza, which is cool, has a kaleidoscope famous entrance, and if you go to the roof, you can get like some really nice free views in this cool little rooftop garden plaza area with some cafes and stuff too, and it's a really cool little hidden gem in Harajuku. From here, we're going to an even more iconic, arguably the most iconic neighborhood in Tokyo, which is Shibuya. Shibuya is great for stores and shopping too, and if you happen to arrive more in like the late afternoon kind of time before evening, I really recommend checking out some places like Loft. I also really love going to Tower Records because these stores are really fun. They have all these different little stations where you can listen to different musical tracks, whether it's international or a bunch of different domestic music in Japan, some like J-pop, maybe anime music, maybe Japanese rock, hip-hop. It's a really cool place to just walk around and explore and just listen to a lot of music that either maybe you like or that you've never heard of before. The Parco building is also very cool. There's a little food court down at the bottom that I highly recommend you check out. It'll be busy, but it's kind of like a little food labyrinth and maze, and there's a really good vegan izakaya that I really enjoy, and a ramen shop which actually has some vegan ramen too. If you're vegan like me, it's perfect. If you're not, there'll be plenty of things that you'd be interested in as well. Higher up in the Parco building, you can also visit the Nintendo store, which is really cool. Obviously, you like Nintendo products. They have a Pokemon store, which is really cool if you like that. And they have a Shonen Jump store, which is really cool if you're into Japanese pop culture, obviously like Pokemon, the video games, the anime. It's gonna be very busy, but it has all these three really close together and some other things as well that are cool. You also have the iconic store Don Quixote. They have these in like almost every main neighborhood in Tokyo. You can check out your first night in Shibuya or maybe another night in some of these other neighborhoods, but this is a very overstimulating store with some really cool merchandise, wacky goods, souvenirs, fun Japanese products, makeup, cosmetics, everything you want, and it's a cool place to explore. And if you so desire, you can visit Shibuya Sky for your first amazing view of Tokyo. I've never visited, so I can't vouch for it myself. Obviously, you have to pay a price, and I heard you have to reserve ahead of time, and a lot of people like to go around sunset for that amazing view, but you want to do that well ahead of time. If you're not planning on going to Shibuya Sky, or this is kind of like a last-minute planning session, and there's no reservations available, especially around that sunset spot, no worries, I have another good viewpoint planned later on in our itinerary. But now that it's getting to nighttime, let's check out the famous Shibuya crossing. Right near the crossing, you can see Hachiko statue, and Hachiko is a dog that became famous because it used to wait for its owner at the station every day, but one day the owner died at work and never returned back to the station, I believe, but the dog, Hachiko, still waited at the station every day, hoping the owner would return. It's very sad and heartbreaking, but people really, appreciate and love this dog, its loyalty and its love for its owner, so they built a statue for Hachiko, which is a very famous place for meeting, and there'll be lots of crowds around it, people trying to get pictures. The crossing itself is very cool. It's maybe not as big as people might think it is, but there's tons of people crossing it. There's lots of TVs, lots of sounds, and it's one of those, wow, I'm in Tokyo moments that we're so craving on this magical Tokyo 3-day adventure. Shibuya is really cool at night. Also, if you want to go out, if you want to do some karaoke, if you want to go to some bars, feel free to explore and check it out. If you're exhausted, which is probably the case, let's go back home and get ready for day 2. Day 2, we are starting off exploring some of, in my opinion, the most cool and fun neighborhoods to really explore and get lost in Tokyo. We're going to start off at Nakameguro Station, which is going to be a really cool area with lots of different cafes. It has the Meguro River, which is famous for the cherry blossom season at night, and during the day being a great place to view the cherry blossoms over the river. But during the day, and when it's not like peak cherry blossom season, I do notice it's a little bit quieter, but really fun to explore and walk around with lots of cool different stores and a really fun vibe. From here, we're going to walk into the neighborhood of Daikanyama, and for all these neighborhoods, just feel free to explore a little bit and see, where your intuition or your vibe takes you. Look at the map too if you don't want to get lost, which I recommend. But Daikanyama is similar to Meguro. It's really cool and fun, and there's actually, again, more coffee, more good cafes, more fun little small stores, but there's also the Q Asakura House, which is a Taisho era residence. It costs a small fee to enter, and it feels like you're walking in like a samurai's home, which is very cool and a stark contrast to the surrounding area. From here, we're going to walk over to Ebisu, which is kind of like the final trifecta of this fun little area, and it also has a JR station. Ebisu is the same, lots of good restaurants, cool areas to explore, a really fun vibe, but a little bit more built up and should have more foot traffic than the other two. And once you're done exploring these areas, you can spend the better part of a morning. Take a train from Ebisu station to Shinjuku station. Because now we are exploring Shinjuku, which is probably honestly my favorite neighborhood in all of Tokyo. I'm biased though. I lived here when I was studying abroad, so I know it very well. I actually made a video of the top 10 things to do in Shinjuku, so check that out to see more detail about these different things and what you should do, but I'm going to keep it moving a little bit more fast to get through the itinerary. I first recommend from Shinjuku Station, we're going to go west to the Tokyo Metropolitan Government Building. If you got a view at Shibuya Sky and you don't want to do this, that's totally fine, but it's a free observation tower. You can go to, I believe, the 45th floor. There's a north and south observatory, and you can get amazing views of the surrounding Tokyo area. You can see Skytree in the distance. You might be able to see Tokyo Tower, although it's a little bit hard to tell with some of the buildings, honestly, because it's not as big as you might think. And then you can see Meiji Shrine and Yoyogi Park, which we visited yesterday, and you can see, even on a clear day, Mount Fuji. And of course, you can just see how massive and sprawled out Tokyo is. It's literally buildings and skyscrapers almost as far as the eye can see. From here, I recommend you go to Shinjuku Gyoen, which is my favorite park and garden in the entire city. You can walk here from the station. I think there's also a train line, but it's probably just more convenient to walk. And once you get to the station, I think it costs 500 yen to enter at this moment of time. And it's massive, it's beautiful. There's different themed gardens, including a Japanese garden, English garden, French garden, Chinese, Taiwanese garden, they call it. There's also a greenhouse, which is really beautiful and fun to explore. During cherry blossom season, this place is amazing. You can't bring in alcohol, but you can bring out like little picnics and sit underneath the cherry blossom trees and just have the time of your life. So as you can see, we have a nice little park, some snacks. Absolutely beautiful. Perfect place for a picnic. And the weather is very nice. After Shinjuku Gyoen, I recommend you do this cool little area that I discovered where you start off at the Hanazono Shrine, which is a really beautiful Shinto shrine, also tucked away in busy Shinjuku. From there, right next door at this time, I'm hoping it'll be maybe more like late evening, early evening, maybe just into like past dusk into actual nighttime. And you should visit Golden Gai. Golden Gai is a really cool area. It's grungy, it's fun. There's 200 small little izakaya, like Japanese style bars, all in this little network of alleys, like 6 alleys or so. It's really cool, it's really incredible. Even if you don't drink, it's a really cool place to just walk around and take in the energy and the visuals that make you feel like you're in a cyberpunk alternate world. Spend like 20 minutes exploring here, or spend a couple hours if you want to go into a couple bars. And then from here, you can take this beautiful little walking path, which has some greenery around you again, and then it spits you out right into the entrance of Kabukicho, which is Shinjuku's red light district. This is a fun place to explore. It's very visually stimulating, slightly overwhelming, but in a great way. And I really recommend you check out Godzilla Street and the Godzilla Head, which is an iconic view and area here in Shinjuku in Kabukicho. And again, like similar to the previous night, it's totally up to you what you do here. If you want to go out and have a great night out, you can go to Omoide Yokucho right next to Shinjuku Station, get some food and drink, and there's also a small alley. It's called Memory Lane. There's lots of little eateries around you. It's very busy, but also very fun. You can also do some karaoke this night if you didn't do it the previous night. I recommend one of these 2 nights trying it out. You can also go to the Shinjuku batting cage, which is very fun. You can check out some arcades. Shinjuku is a great neighborhood during the day and the nighttime, so I highly recommend trying to have a fun night out in Shinjuku to end day 2. Day 3 is going to be very different than day 2. We're contrasting again, going to more of the traditional side of Tokyo in the neighborhood of Asakusa. Asakusa is another iconic area that you should definitely explore in Tokyo. Like I said, it's more traditional. There's not as many like skyscrapers around you. Everything's not quite as tight and packed and built up, but it's really fun to walk around and explore around the area of Sensoji, especially. You want to walk down Nakamisedori after passing through the massive like bell gate. I think it's called Kaminamaron. And here it's really fun for shopping and souvenirs. They have traditional Japanese like sweets and street food and little souvenirs. This is really good. It's like in senbei onigiri almost because of the kombu. It's busy but very cool. If you ever need to escape the crowds, just go off to the street right adjacent or right next to the main Nakamisedori, because this will eventually take you to Sensoji, which is the massive Buddhist temple. It's very beautiful. It'll be very crowded, but there's pagodas to explore. There's the main temple hall. There's the incense. If it's like a festive season, there might be some like food vendors in and around the area as well. It's a really nice area. It's very busy, but it's an iconic, cool thing to check out, especially when wanting to experience this side of Tokyo. From here, I recommend you going further east to the Sumida River. The Sumida River is a nice area to walk around, especially during cherry blossom season. It's magical, and you can even see Skytree just across the river. I don't actually recommend visiting because from what I hear, there's long lines, and when you get a view of the Tokyo skyline, undoubtedly you want the Skytree in it. You don't want to be looking from the Skytree. So I recommend just observing it from across the river and taking in the beautiful scenery of the Sumida River in Asakusa. After spending the better part of a morning and possibly early afternoon, I recommend 2 different choices depending on what you prefer. If you're into the Japanese pop culture, nerd culture, otaku culture, or if you're just interested in seeing this part of Tokyo, go to Akihabara. Very close by. You can easily take a train here, and this is known as Tokyo's Electric Town. It's really cool for like anime merchandise, for gachapon, for arcade, and these sorts of things. All right, this moment of truth. It's Fushiguro, I think.
I like it.
It's not bad. It truly is a great neighborhood for just going into stores and exploring, but some main ones you might want to check out are going to be Mandarake, Super Potato, Animate, or Animate, but I feel like I have to say it with a Japanese accent, and Radio Kaikan. If this isn't as interesting to you and you want to explore more maybe the traditional Japanese kind of feel, go to Ueno. Ueno is pretty close by to Akihabara as well, and it is more of like the old Tokyo feel with some of the traditional culture. You can go to Ueno Park, which is also beautiful. There's some like temples and shrines and a pond, and it's a nice natural area to walk around and explore as well. And right next to Ueno Station is Ameyokocho, which is also like an old traditional feeling sort of like market, but like open air market. It runs right next to the Yamanote line and has a cool, fun little retro sign, and it's a great place to walk around if you want maybe some food, some drinks, to walk around and pop into some stores. Maybe not as like cutesy as the other neighborhoods, maybe more traditional, but it's a cool area nonetheless. And to end the night, I recommend if possible, heading to Odaiba before sunset, because you can go to this little actual artificial beach they have and watch the sunset. It's very beautiful. You can see the Rainbow Bridge light up, and you actually take the monorail to get here from Akihabara, which is really cool as well. What I love about Odaiba is it was like a man-made little island, and it feels like a part of Tokyo, but you're just outside of Tokyo. It feels like the city is just right there. You can reach out and touch it, but you're kind of also like isolated in your own little pocket of not necessarily quietness, because Odaiba, it has like a cool retro feel. It feels like what they thought the future would be, like a futuristic vibe in like the 1990s. They have Diver City, which is a massive mall. They also have just nearby the Team Lab Borderless, I believe that's the name of it, Team Lab Borderless, and Toyosu Market. So if you're interested in these places, definitely want to make a reservation for Team Lab and head here earlier. Maybe you can substitute that for some time at these other places. I've never been, so I can't personally say. There's a Statue of Liberty replica statue, and you can see the Unicorn Gundam, which is massive, and it's cool at night to see with the lights and everything. And once you're done here, you can take your train back to your hotel and end a magical day 3 of Tokyo. So let's review our 3 days. We visited the iconic city centers of Shinjuku, Shibuya, and Akihabara, escaped to some shrines in nature, got amazing views of the massive metropolis of Tokyo, checked out some quirkier, sleepier neighborhoods, explored more of the traditional side of Tokyo, went to incredible gardens and parks, and did a wide variety of shopping. The most important goal when experiencing Tokyo for me is blending the pop culture, shiny lights, big city overstimulation with the traditional culture, quiet back streets, and hidden gem exploration. 3 days does feel a bit tight for Tokyo though, so if possible, spend 4 days here and expand your itinerary a little bit, and then add some even more cool neighborhoods, some hidden gems that I'll cover in future videos, such as places like Shimokitazawa, Kichijoji, and some other cool places. But even better, I would recommend, of course, if possible, spending a week in Tokyo, and then you can add in some cool day trips, which I will also be covering in future videos, including one famous place that I have strong opinions about, so check it out if you're interested in some day trips in Tokyo. So are you visiting Tokyo soon? Which of these places look the most interesting to you? Let me know down in the comments below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.